Okay, the student needed help with the eye, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use an index card. I'm gonna cover up what he has, and he knows how he would do it. He wants to see how I would do it. What would I do differently than what he did? And this method works very well. Just cover up that area with an index card or a piece of scrap paper and go for it. Draw on it. Let them see what you would do. What do you notice? What do you draw first? How do you put marks down? And one of the first things I notice when I look at the reference compared to when I look at his drawing is the tear duct and the corner of his eye are tilted slightly. And I'm asking him, which one do you think is higher? So I'm pointing out things that I observe that seem to make a difference in the drawing, and he has interpreted a little differently. And then I can kind of flip the card up a little and check to see if the difference that he had is what I would have. And I said, yeah, I think you already got that. You noticed that. Okay, let's see what else it could be. And as you can see, I'm drawing with my blending stick. It's a really light way to draw. I also don't want to slip off the index card and accidentally make a big dark mark on their drawings. They won't thank me for that if I were to accidentally do that. So I'm just going to shade in this eye. Not only is drawing a self-portrait exceedingly difficult, the student also has glasses and a shadow and a cast shadow from the glasses. It is a really busy area of the drawing, and that's typically where they're asking for the most help. These are high school students who are capable and really talented. They're not going to struggle with the obvious. They're going to struggle with the subtle or the complex. So that's where I step in and say, you're right to be struggling. It's tough. If it were easy, everybody would just have this drawing flowing out of their pencil and never use the eraser. Sometimes it's a placement issue, sometimes it's a value issue. I think that the whites of the eye on this part are a little bit bright where he has them. So if we darken those, they're going to sink them back. Because the eye is in a socket, it tends to be in the dark. And when you're dealing with a really dark side of the face, it's going to be extra dark. Drawing on this index card is also helpful because I can make a mistake and it also won't be on their drawing. I'm not a human copy machine, so I definitely make my fair share of mistakes, and I hate it if I would do that for my students. I don't want to make their drawing even worse. That would be terrible and embarrassing and not be good. This is about the time of the demonstration for an individual student that we both forget what was there originally, and we're just kind of remaking this side of the face. And I think that the darkness and the value on this dark side of the face was a issue for him. Let's look at it and see what his looked like to begin with. And yeah, his was quite a bit brighter, and I think it does the trick to kind of sink it back in there. And it may be just something like that, where if I explain it and say, okay, student, okay, John, if you don't darken that eye, it's not going to look right. And he might say, well, I think that'd be too dark. I'm not going to do that. And then you have an issue of trust, where the student is just, they're hesitant to do what you're asking, not because they want to be disobedient or rebellious or a bad kid and not do what their teacher says, but they're just not convinced. And when you're dealing with gifted artists who have trusted their instincts for 18 years and have gotten really far with those, you're going to have to convince them that the advice you're giving them is valid. And this approach fits the bill. These students are capable, They just need a little confirmation to keep going on the route that they're going. And maybe that's where you are. You find yourself succeeding at a lot, but maybe there's those little areas that are really busy that you need some help with. And watching these can really help you see that you're not alone. And thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more tutorials like this, please leave a comment below and tell me what part of the face that you struggle with the most. And be sure and check out the playlist where I do a lot of these little index cards demonstrations for my students. Hope you guys have a blessed day and night.